on, do we really have to illustrate our point this way? I mean, everyone knows you're just me with no lines written ahead of time, which is probably why it always sounds like you're suffering from mental constipation. Look, all I'm saying is that I think you're missing the boat here. And so will the many fans who apparently think this is one of the best episodes. Look, we all agree that Weird Al is awesome, but the fact of the matter is that his part of the plot is the only one that works. Pinkie Pie's existential crisis is completely forced and unnecessary, and her plot about whether she can make Rainbow Dash happy is a giant wreck because Rainbow Dash doesn't deserve to be happy. She deserves to be shot out of a giant party cannon into the next town while everyone else parties. Well, the breakdown and the career change are forced overkill, true enough, but that only lasts for about 2 minutes anyway. The rest of the time, what she does is about on key for someone who snapped out of feeling sorry for themselves but still just needs to learn where to draw the line and making it too much about them. But it doesn't amount to anything because the lesson is all about taking Rainbow Dash's feelings into account. And since Rainbow Dash is nothing but obnoxious this time around, we all should think that she needs to get the hell over it. I mean, who wouldn't want a giant goof-off centered around them? Well, there's no rule that says it has to be what she feels like doing. And she didn't complain about it. She sucked it up. Plus, we can see that she does enjoy both ponies' party antics. It's just the part about getting in each other's faces and hers that's kind of a drag. But it was her fault in the first place. Why should we feel for her, let alone want her to have this great party? Well, not only did she apologize for getting carried away, she's actually the one who reassured Pinkie that she's irreplaceable. But that's a contradiction. She didn't just get carried away. She freaking disowned Pinkie. She should be apologizing for being a lousy douche of a friend. Okay, well, what exactly did she say?
I mean, Pinkie Pie's parties are fun and sweet and all, but now this party's gonna be...
epic?
You said it!
That hardly means she doesn't think Pinkie Pie's good enough anymore. I mean, why can't we just assume that in her usual insensitive way, she was just saying that having a second party pony around would make it even better? Well, you of all people should know why that's a no dice since you're always arguing it with the commenters. If the episode does nothing to imply otherwise, that means at very least they didn't care if you assumed the worst. You shouldn't have to fill in the blank for the writers. The effect would have been better if they'd written it better. But it works both ways. If there's another possibility on the table that's at least as likely, why should we assume the worst? Well, why the hell else would they have her say no offense Pinkie if she didn't think it was a hurtful thing to say? Yeah, that was kind of confusing, but maybe in her usual rough-edged way she really was just worried about being offensive? I mean, she also said when Cheese Sandwich first showed up that she wanted both of them to plan it. And when Pinkie Pie proposed the goof-off, she was still willing to give both of them an equal chance. There's just no definite sign that she was ever really siding with one of them over the other. The delivery may be a little clumsy, but I really do think this is intended to be Rainbow Dash just being her usual abrasive but still ultimately good and loyal self. You remember what we said about her in the Mysterious Ne'er-Do-Well review? The most hated episode in the entire show? Oh, as if there weren't enough versions of me talking.
Apparently this is one of the most downvoted of the series, and I'm not sure. I think basically what they said the reason is that it seems a little bit mean. Like Rainbow Dash is Rainbow Dash. Essentially, like she's bragging a little too much. It's harder to feel for her. I don't really agree. I actually like this episode a lot. I think that actually, from what we've seen from Rainbow Dash, this is writing character, and this is a very good exploration of her character that. Still, it didn't make me dislike her. I thought it highlighted actually a lot of what's likable about her. Rainbow Dash, she is self-promoting, but I mean, she's not trying to put anyone down from it. I mean, she's just having fun. I mean, and you realize too that, okay, she's getting carried away. I mean, this is, very egocentric, very cocky and stuff. I mean, she talks to her friends a few times, and it's like she thinks she's doing them a favor, letting them hang out with her and share in the glory, but I mean, it comes across that she's sort of unwittingly putting them down, so it's like, okay, she does need to learn a lesson, but it's like, I don't really think there's any reason to dislike her for that. I think it's understandable, essentially. And I mean, I think that this is one of those characters, too, where it is, I mean, you do really feel for her when she learns her lessons. It's like, it really is satisfying development because, I mean, you understand where she's coming from, why she's not there at the beginning, and you understand why she gets there, and it demonstrates the goodness in her, so I think that's a successful attempt.
You were able to connect the dots and understand her there. Why not here? I mean, look, I know you're worried that the show is going to lose its grip on the characters. So am I. You know what I mean. and we agreed that the show has been working to get it right lately. The writers do care, and they do want us to appreciate Rainbow Dash for the right reasons. So why don't you let the momentary hiccups be just that and appreciate her for what she brings to the table?
Yes, she shows her bad side here, but she also shows her best.
Come on. She is your favorite, and you may never get this again. You know, you're actually a lot more convincing when your lines are written for you ahead of time. Alright, maybe I'm starting to see it in a better light now. Me too, my friend. Me too. Alright, so why don't you close up here with your usual shtick? I'm gonna go disappear back into the dark recesses of your mind. Will do. And yeah, that was pretty much my experience watching this episode. I mean, the first time I finished it, you know, you can't not love Weird Al in this episode. They go all out for him, but yeah, his, well, like I said, we have seen this sort of thing done before, how a show tries to welcome a novelty act character sort of thing with open arms, and yeah, sometimes they'll almost go too far trying to, like, shove what it normally does off to the side to make room for them, and I mean, so basically I was a little worried coming in that they were going to mess this up somehow, and, you know, there were, I get hints at it, like the song with Pinkie Pie at the beginning, you know, it's fine. It kind of seemed like they were trying to channel Belle from Beauty and the Beast with that one, but, and, I mean, that was fine, but it was really obvious they were building up Pinkie Pie so she could fall, essentially, so something could go wrong and she could bring that into question, and then the other friends, I mean, I guess Twilight has a nice moment or two here, especially wondering why Pinkie Pie isn't helping plan the party, but, yeah, we do have stuff like Rarity, just going on and on about how great Cheese Sandwich is, even though he kind of seems out of her element a little bit. I mean, you think that she would, I don't know, have like a Rarity reaction, just like, pie fight, but then, like, still get into it just because he's so much, well, more like the reaction she has to Pinkie Pie, essentially. But, okay, anyway, though, that was all stuff I was willing to just forget, like, almost, because, I mean, Weird Al with all the great moments he brings here, the super duper party pony and stuff, and just the goof off, and the excuse to get him in here competing with Pinkie Pie to see who is the better partier. That was everything the episode needed right there. I didn't care if trying to incorporate that it almost like tried to step out, make way for him a little too much. I didn't even care about that. But yeah, the plot with the part where, okay, they had Pinkie Pie start like really breaking down. I mean, because that's the kind of thing I was afraid of. I was worried it was going to be the kind of plot where yeah, the plot itself was trying too hard to make room for him, trying to just make it a really obvious, basic sort of an episode, just trying to do something generic and just like cut and paste, just instead of, I don't know, trying to incorporate Cheese Sandwich into all of this with a plot that's written just as well as he is, that just, yeah, doing something generic and just making sure that they don't tread his toes at all, they don't do something, and that's kind of what it seemed like they were doing. They were doing this really obvious plot where, yeah, Pinkie Pie isn't just like feeling jealous of him, it's a totally forced cliche, like that. Well, actually, I've said the rival that can do anything better than you plot, sort of going the very generic route of that with the, yeah, the overreaction and the generic moral and all of that, and I mean, and it seemed to be doing the same thing with Rainbow Dash to fit the bill, having her go like almost to just flat out too much of an extent, like disown Pinkie Pie and get excited for Cheese Sandwich, because I mean it seemed like she was, when she said that yeah, Pinkie Pie's parties, they're okay and all, but yeah, this is gonna be a party now that you're here. I mean, that was just like so mean, and there was no need to say that. They weren't even, I mean, it came across to me, at least the first time, that she was just trying to, yeah, cut ties with Pinkie Pie now that something better with it. She was going out of her way to say, like, yeah, you're not good enough. But, so yeah, I mean, I loved Weird Al. I loved how the plot's tying into how Pinkie Pie inspired him, that reveal, the resolution where they team up and plan together and just have all of this great party stuff at the party, and I mean, just everything with him was great, and like I said, you're never going to get that again, so I mean, there was no way I was going to say this wasn't a good episode, but I just, like, the plot with Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie, that wasn't even, like, acceptable to me the first time I saw it at the end, because, I mean, I was not at all invested by the end in Rainbow Dash having this great party. I thought that she owed Pinkie Pie a little more, like they needed to straighten out that, yeah, she wasn't just excited, she was kind of a jerk, and then, yeah, so I don't know, I thought, like, almost just the overall plot, I wasn't even sure it really, like, worked at all. I mean, I wasn't entirely satisfied by the resolution because, I mean, the party is supposed to be for Rainbow Dash, and I did not think that, yeah, they played that right at all, so, I mean, it was, so, yeah, come the end, I was like, okay, yeah, I mean, Weird Al was really the only thing that really, like, he kind of had to carry this episode, so, yeah, that was not a great one. That was, I mean, it was really good. That was just too much good stuff in it to ever deny, but, yeah, I think that, Season 4 can't even do it with Weird Al, but, I do rewatch episodes, but usually just for, like I said, there's a blog series too, so usually for, whichever entry I'm doing second. So I'll rewatch episodes. I've never really changed my mind. Like, I mean, I think Castlemania, I was thinking all the way to thumbs down at first, but that's really as close to an exception as it ever came, so, yeah, and especially since, yeah, now the blog series is like, I wasn't going to rewatch this episode at all, except for just the clips of it to determine what I was going to slip into the review, how I was going to play it, but, yeah, then just as I was going through it, you know, I thought about just, okay, I mean, there's so much love for this episode, and I mean, I've disagreed with the fan base before, or at least what the fan base apparently thinks. You get contradicting accounts, but, yeah, I mean, I was ready to say that, yeah, okay, I mean, this episode gets the love it gets because of the novelty, and I mean, really, it's just a good one, but, no, I was like, okay, you know, this is, well, there's just so much going into this one. I mean, this would be a shame if there was anything to miss here. Well, for whatever reason, anyway, I decided to watch it again as I was, like, while I was in the mid-process of writing the review, actually, and, yeah, well, actually, when I got to the, what kind of set off that there was a difference this time around, that, yeah, I wasn't feeling quite the same way I was the first time, was when I got to the part where Rainbow Dash first said that, like, okay, Pinkie Pie's parties are whatever, because for whatever reason, the line in my memory was, Pinkie Pie's parties are okay, but this party is gonna be the real deal or something, but what she actually says is Pinkie Pie's parties are really fun and sweet and all, but now this party is gonna be epic, and I actually, that wasn't quite the same as in my memory, obviously. I mean, I still wasn't sure exactly what they were going for there, because, I mean, she does say right after that, like, no offense, Pinkie, but, I mean, even then, the way she turns back, it was sort of like that only just entered her mind that Pinkie Pie might be listening, so, yeah, it just, I wasn't as sure about it that time. I was like, okay, well, maybe that's just supposed to be her getting excited for it and not even saying that she doesn't want Pinkie Pie to help or that she thinks one of them is better, but just, yeah, getting excited for it and, yeah, realizing at the end that she's also saying that, yeah, she technically doesn't just want Pinkie Pie in it anymore, but planning it anymore, but okay, so for whatever reason, though, it was like just that one moment, it just sort of took the edge off for the rest of the episode. There was still, like I said, there are some bits that are a little too flat, a little too obvious and overplayed in trying to spin a plot about Weird Al Yankovic, and like they were almost in awe of him instead of just like thinking, all right, now we have a great ingredient to incorporate into this. But so yeah, like Pinkie Pie's existential crisis, that was totally unnecessary to just like take it that far with that much melodrama, but it only lasts 2 minutes, and yeah, like I said, for the rest of the time, it's right what it should be, so, okay, and after that, like, I just kind of realized that, yeah, my the disdain I had for this episode kind of all was centered around Rainbow Dash, because it was like she was, before it was like she was disowning Pinkie Pie, and then the rest of the time we're supposed to be invested in Pinkie Pie trying to make her happy and trying to hold on to her pride, of course, and then just like, yeah, with the goof off how Rainbow Dash says she doesn't want to do it, like we're supposed to think she should almost have any say in it when she's, like I said, kind of the reason this happened in the first place. Like, I mean, the first time around it seemed like, okay, no, we still have every reason to be mad at her, but the second time, like I said, it just sort of took the edge off. It was like, okay, no, Rainbow Dash, she is sucking it up and giving Pinkie Pie a chance to, well, like, she never said she wanted either of them thrown out, and, you know, now that they agree that only one of them can do it, she is giving both of them a chance, and she is willing to suck up having to play judge and going along with it, and even getting into it until they shoot her out of a cannon and drop a piñata on her, but, so, yeah, and because of that, when they got to the end, you know, the first time around, it was, I mean, I was like, okay, yeah, that, now it's just the generic apology, as though we're supposed to forget that, okay, yeah, she didn't just get a little carried away, she legitimately screwed up, but yeah, now she says, I'm sorry, and we're supposed to believe that she's the great soul all along, and yeah, but no, at the end it was like, okay, she, like, I did see more of her side of it the second time around, so when she apologizes at the end, that time, I was sort of able to get into what she was saying, that like, no, okay, I did get carried away, but I never wanted to replace you, because nobody could do that. I mean, just, you know, think about it. You're the Ponyville's permanent party pony, alliteration. But yeah, so okay, we could never replace you. We could never have any party without you. So you do sort of get into that at the end, that she's not just apologizing, she is picking up Pinkie's spirits and like getting her to see the light. And I mean, and so, you know, it was like, okay, you know, now this is, I think that, okay, in spite of everything, they do still remember what Rainbow Dash is like, and they still are sort of crafting her along those lines. So, you know, okay, I think that, yeah, I can get behind Rainbow Dash on this after all, and I can get into the notion of her having this great party, especially since when you see her celebrating, you know, she's enjoying the great stuffed cheese sandwiches brought to the table, but there's also a few shots of her, like, just with her friends celebrating, and it's like, I mean, I don't know, I felt like it kind of worked after all, that, yeah, maybe it was just like the way they messed up was too much, like, I mean, maybe because I was a little worried it would happen, or maybe because it was just, I mean, right after something as great as Super Duper Party Pony, just, yeah, such a blatantly clumsy delivery, maybe, yeah, the first time I was just had just a little too strong a reaction to it, but, so, yeah, after all, I think that, no, I wasn't just able to get behind Weird Al, I was able to get behind this plot, and this is, at long last, a great episode. It took Weird Al Yankovic, but Season 4 has finally done it, and something other than the openers that are always great. It managed to do it with one of the one-part episodes this time, so, okay, so actually I think, like I also said, I think a good comparison here to what I think, now that I've gotten over my initial problems with it, that this is probably a good episode to compare to Return of Harmony, because like I said, Discord in there, Cheese Sandwich harnesses the Weird Al persona and creates a character done every bit as well as Discord, so with harnessing sort of the Q persona from what I know of him. I'm sure Q is not like goofy and off the wall like Discord is, but yeah, using it for something new, creating their own thing, and just, yeah, really spinning a lot of great fun around it. I think Cheese Sandwich is just as successful as Discord, so yeah, they are the two best guest star characters, and I mean, Discord returns. I kind of hope I hope they invite Weird Al back, because, yeah, I would totally love to see more of this, but, yeah, so, but even so, guest star characters, they're the two best, and the episodes are pretty comparable. Like, they have some of the best elements the show has ever seen. They do mess up, like, instead of delivering this plot that just hits every nail right on the head and is satisfying all the way through and paced right like it should be, it does sort of get clumsy and obvious in areas, and yeah, so does Return of Harmony. So, okay, there's points where it's a little disappointing, a little underwhelming, and so I can't say it's the greatest, but They both, in the end, you know what they were going for with these plots. You know that it's not the plots themselves. They don't fail. They drop the ball. Like, they get clumsy here and there, but, you know, they still maintain the momentum all the way through, and they do succeed. And on the trip, they give you some of the hands-down best moments you've ever seen from this show. So, okay, so that's about what I'd compare it to. That's the level I think it's at. So, okay, and yeah, I mean, and I know everybody's probably gonna wonder what I meant by not the greatest. And I think if I went back, I'd probably like have a handful of favorites that were just like the just hands down golden moments from the show. I said Canterlot Wedding for one, and I don't know what else, maybe Too Many Pinkie Pies for one. But so yeah, it's not like quite among my tiny handful of favorites, but it is among the show's elite still. It is one of the best, the very best. So, okay. Other than that, I guess, I mean, you feel like you can never say too much about Weird Al. I mean, it's really so cool he's willing to do, like, everything. Like, the epic rap battles, he's in that, he's in this, I really did mean it when I said he gets better as he goes. Like, I mean, I'm sure the breakout novelty of him, I'm sure that was more in like the 80s with the Eat It and that stuff. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he just keeps getting funnier. He totally creative, keeps finding new ways to do it. Like, he did not just run the same gimmicks into the ground. He is a big Weird Al fan, definitely. But otherwise, apart from the derpy cameos, I did appreciate those. Yeah, she dipping her head in the chocolate fountain and stuff. They made sure to bring her out just to mark the occasion, so, okay, very nice there. But, anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say, and, okay, the next episode is Simple Ways, which even sounds like just a whatever follow-up episode now that we've had this, but, okay, well, take care, see you there.
She didn't even expect